All right, this is the atmosphere that Donald Trump has come into. The average Americans don't vote because they're just disenchanted with the entire thing. They think they're all crooks. It doesn't matter. And for people to scoff and say, "Oh, well, there's no proof of that. Oh, it can't be true."
Yes.
I'm sorry, man. I just think that's a little bit naive. Yeah, I mean,
so you're talking about an environment of because Trump is the crook that they thought all politicians were, but he comes.
But the thing is he's an honest crook, mate. It's like there's no, you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever watched someone walk into a debate completely confident, only to slowly realize they've built their entire argument on thin air? Because that's exactly what you're about to see. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now I want to be fully transparent with you. This clip isn't brand new. It's from a few years back. But here's the thing. Just because something isn't recent doesn't mean it isn't relevant. In fact, sometimes older moments hit even harder with hindsight. And I know for a fact that many of you haven't seen this exchange before. So today we're revisiting a moment where James O'Brien, calm, composed, and relentlessly precise, ends up pressing a Trump supporter so methodically that the entire argument begins to collapse in real time. Not through shouting, not through insults, not through theatrics, but through questions. Simple questions. That's what makes this powerful dot, so let's watch the exchange in full. And once we've seen how it unfolds, I'll break down exactly why this moment still matters today.
All right, this is the atmosphere that Donald Trump has come into. The average Americans don't vote because they're just disenchanted with the entire thing. They think they're all crooks. It doesn't matter. And for people to scoff and say, "Oh, well, there's no proof of that. Oh, it can't be true."
Yes.
I'm sorry, man. I just think that's a little bit naive. Yeah, I mean...
So you're talking about an environment of because Trump is the crook that they thought all politicians were, but he comes...
But the thing is he's an honest crook, mate. It's like there's no... You know what I'm saying? He's not hiding it. You know, you say that, "Oh, Biden sounded like a statesman." Like, that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's not.
Right.
It's somebody who spent their life being a polished liar, taking corporate agenda and pushing it through.
Are you describing what you?
These are not good things.
Are you describing what you think now, or what you think they think?
This is what I believe, and this is what I've spoken to many of my friends back in America. We talk about these things, you know. And you've got the whole media juggernaut as well.
If I asked you to persuade me that Joe Biden was a polished liar, what would you do?
I just pointed his 50-year career.
Yeah, well, go on.
How else could he possibly stay in power? I mean, this is the whole
that's
thing
a
about
question.
Trump,
That's a question, not an answer.
From outside.
No, I know, but I just want you to.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't have any facts because I didn't know anything about Joe Biden before I heard his name as the elector.
But you're absolutely certain that he spent half a century lying.
If he's a politician, he's been in the job for that long. I don't see how he could avoid it.
But you just said you'd never heard of him before last year.
I don't need to hear.
He was vice president.
This is what I think an average American.
Shouting louder doesn't make any more sense because he was vice president for 8 years.
Right. Again, I'd never heard of him.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of him.
I mean, is it fair to suggest? Is it fair to suggest that you may not be the best qualified commentator on American politics?
I'm just trying to give you a look into.
And I am. You've given me a very interesting look, Jim.
I'm the average person as well.
You may be, but you've admitted you know absolutely nothing, but you're certain of your prejudices.
I'm certain that this is the way that it's going to be looked at by the people like Trump's followers.
No, that's why I said to you, are you telling me what you think, or are you telling me what you think they think?
I'm telling you what I think. I'm telling
and you think that Joe Biden
between my friends that I've spoken to about the subject?
I understand that. I mean, I find it horrible what you're describing, but I don't think you're lying. I think you're being honest. So you can look at Donald Trump and see what you described as an honest crook, and there is all the evidence of his wrongdoing that goes back 50 years, and you know, we could make a list. We'd be here until Christmas.
Yep, the man's got immense character flaws.
Not character flaws, criminality.
I do not think he's a good person.
But then you've got Joe Biden over there, and you've got no evidence whatsoever of his malfeasance or misbehaviour, but you're absolutely convinced he's a wrong-un. So would you mind if I...
Again, I would refer back to the Panorama program that I saw, which appalled me.
Yes, but was he in it?
A news crew can go over, pretend to be a lobbyist.
But was Joe Biden in? Was Joe Biden in it?
No.
So
he was not in it.
I've got two questions. Do you recognise on any level how ridiculous you sound? And I say that affectionately.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I suppose so. So now,
and the second question is who did this to you? Where do you think this came from? Because you weren't born like this. At some point in the last 50 years, you've become a man who's absolutely convinced of things despite having no evidence for it whatsoever. How do you think that happened?
Because I have been pulled over, and I have had police in America rewrite the arrest report, and I have had basically lies told in court about me, and I have had trouble in America.
And that's how you know that Joe Biden is not to be trusted.
Experience with the establishment.
Oh, being pulled over by police in America.
That's right.
Okay. Well, it's been interesting talking to you, Jim.
I had a can of beer.
Oh,
that was unopened.
There's more.
Unopened in my car.
Yes.
And they wrote it up as an open container. And I ended up with a DUI.
And that's how you know that Joe Biden is corrupt.
Let's take a breath and really sit with what we just watched. That clip was from 2021. We're now in 2025. Different election cycle, different headlines, different political storms. And yet, the pattern hasn't changed. That's why this exchange still matters. Because what did we actually see? We saw someone confidently label Donald Trump an honest crook. Think about how far the goalposts have moved for that phrase to even exist. Not he's innocent, not he's misunderstood, but yes, he's flawed, and that's why I trust him. That's not a defense based on facts. That's emotional branding. And then in the very same breath, Joe Biden is declared corrupt. Not criticized over a specific policy, not challenged over a documented scandal, just broadly stamped as corrupt with no evidence offered when asked. That's the key moment. When James calmly says, essentially, okay, what's your evidence? The answer isn't delayed, it's absent. Completely absent. No documentation, no concrete example, just a feeling, a suspicion, a belief that because someone has been in politics for decades, they must automatically be dishonest. That's not an argument. That's cynicism dressed up as certainty. And here's the deeper issue. When evidence stops mattering, when standards become optional, politics turns into identity theater. One side's wrongdoing is reframed as authenticity. The other side's experience is reframed as corruption. It stops being about facts and starts being about loyalty. That's what makes this exchange so revealing. It's not about one caller, it's not about one presenter. It's about what happens when strong political identities replace critical thinking. When I feel it's true becomes more powerful than I can prove it. Now you can criticize any politician. You can scrutinize any administration. That's healthy. That's democracy. But if the standard is no evidence required for the people I dislike, unlimited benefit of the doubt for the people I support, then the conversation isn't balanced anymore. And that's the tension we're still living with. So I'm genuinely curious. What stood out to you most in that exchange? Was it the honest crook moment? Was it the admission of having no facts? Or was it the calm way the questions slowly exposed the contradiction? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're new here and you appreciate breakdowns that focus on logic instead of noise, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss the next one. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.